Hi YouTube, Josh here, normally with the channel zzzgiantawake, but it is Saturday on the Breakfast Club. So I want to make a couple quick points on Sketchy's video yesterday, which was done very well, and I thought it was very well thought out. I don't necessarily agree with completely uncurtailed free speech, and I'm not sure if that's what he was going for. I think that there are times that free speech, hate speech specifically, should be curtailed, and those would be public spaces like K through 12 schools. I think should be free from that type of speech, and same with public gyms. I think that free speech should, or those areas should be protected from free speech. Hate speech specifically. There is another type of speech that was not talked about yesterday that I think should be barred, and that is truly harmful speech, and that would include libel, slander, and fraud. I don't think that our definition of fraud is typically broad enough to cover what it should cover. I think that false campaigns and presidential candidates should not be able to lie on a campaign trail, but they're going to do so anyway until we do something to stop it. And obviously libel and slander should be illegal because they harm a person's ability to function within a society, or at least they threaten it. But we already have laws in place to protect most of this, so I don't want to spend too much time on that subject. Now, getting on to communications and the division that is growing. So, since the internet's come into play in the late 90s, the mid to late 90s, it seems like as we mature with the internet, that every group that I've ever seen or been a part of has fractured more and more and more. To give you an example of a group that is fracturing in the middle of it, and I have no clue how this is going to be resolved, the Republican Party has a body of politicians who are fairly normal Republicans. Not normal as in how they were 20 years ago, but normal as in are willing to work with Democrats. And then you have the Tea Party, which is essentially willing to call out other Republicans for even working or considering working with the Democratic Party. They act as if working with Democrats is working with Saddam Hussein or Osama bin Laden, but that's not true. They're willing to carry lies to the public, flat out falsehoods to the public about what Iran does or what our process is for vetting Syrian refugees. These things are not just fun. This is not just politics. These things harm real people in real life, and in a very terrible way. Now, this video is not about those topics. If you have some thoughts on those topics, feel free to rant below in the comments section. Now, what I really want to talk about is there seems to be a division growing, not just in that community, but between all of humanity. Seems like everybody is getting more polarized in their positions. Everybody's starting to become entrenched, and we're getting to a saturation point. I have no clue what the resolution's going to look like once these tensions within these groups start to get beyond a normal point. For example, the atheist community used to be a lot more unified and used to get along a lot better. That doesn't mean that's the way that it should have always been, or that I think it should be now. But what I'm saying is that even within the subgroup of atheists, which make up approximately 5% of the whole national population, you have different subgroups that keep on splintering more and more. It feels like anytime somebody takes a strong stance on any position, that causes a new division within our communities. And again, this is not just limited to atheists. This is happening throughout the country, and I think a part of it is that with the internet we're able to reach out to people who fit exactly what we want, and we tend to hold on to those people and say fuck you to everybody else. I think that this entrenchment is unhealthy. I think it's creating a false separation, a false division between human beings who could otherwise talk about what the solutions might be and come to some sort of healthy resolution. I'm worried that we might get to a point where the only thing that's going to open up communications between us and just other fucking human beings that disagree with us on one subject is a real tragedy. Is tragedy on a scale that we've never experienced before. But something that gives me hope is when we do, around tragedy, work together. There's a YouTuber who there was a fundraiser for, and I saw people who in the same chat who I had never thought that they would end up ever in the same chat ever again. It seems like once people find their niche, they push everybody else out. And that was for Galen. I'm going to leave links in the description to that hangout on Pimp Monk's channel. What I'd like to do is I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on the division and if it's something that can be resolved in a healthy manner. Whether you think that the growing division is a good thing or a bad thing. I've expressed that I think that it's unhealthy. I also invite you to maybe say, hey Josh, you're blowing this out of proportion in your fucking head. Calm the fuck down. That's all I have to say today. I've been working on a couple of finals, so that's why I'm getting this up so late. Maybe after I get some rest, things won't seem so tragic prone. Maybe afterwards, things won't seem so dark. Thank you guys. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to the Breakfast Club channel. Even if you don't like me, there are far better content creators available on this friggin' channel. Peace. Maybe it's because I've watched the Captain America trailer too much.